Have you ever noticed how the biggest things in life usually start from the smallest beginnings? It's true for everything. A giant tree starts as a tiny seed. A great skill starts with one simple lesson. Today, I want to tell you a story that proves this. It is a story about a boy named Tim, a garden, and a very big surprise. It is not just a story about growing a plant, it is a story about patience, love, and the reward you get when you don't give up. So get comfortable, listen closely to my voice, and let's experience this journey together. Let me introduce you to Tim. Tim is a young boy and he is a little different from other kids his age. While many children like to stay inside staring at screens or playing video games all day, Tim loves the outdoors. He loves the fresh air, the feeling of the grass, and most of all, he loves his garden. You see, Tim is what you would call a good boy. He is kind, he listens to his parents, and he's very hardworking. His favorite place in the whole world is the patch of dirt behind his house. To you and me, it might just look like dirt, but to Tim, it is a place where magic happens. One sunny morning, Tim decides he wants to do something special. He doesn't want to just play in the garden, he wants to create something. He wants to bring life to the garden. He walks over to the shed and grabs his little shovel. The sun is shining bright, warming his back as he kneels down in the soft soil. He digs a small hole. It isn't deep, just deep enough. Then he takes a small white seed. It looks so ordinary. It doesn't look like much at all. But Tim knows that inside that tiny shell, there's a lot of potential waiting to come out. He drops the seed into the hole and gently covers it with the dark, cool earth. He pats it down with his hand. Sleep well, he thinks. Now, this is where many people fail. They plant a seed and walk away, expecting a miracle the next day. But not Tim. Tim knows that if you want something to grow, you have to care for it every single day. The very next morning, Tim runs out to the garden with a watering can. He pours cool water over the spot where the seed is sleeping. He does this the next day and the day after that. He checks the soil to make sure it isn't too dry, but also not too wet. He pulls out tiny weeds that try to steal space from his seed. He talks to the ground sometimes. It sounds funny, but he encourages the seed to grow. He waits and he waits. After a few days, something wonderful happens. Tim runs out one morning and sees a tiny spot of green. It has pushed its way up through the dirt. It is a sprout. Tim is so excited. His hard work is starting to show. As the days go by, the sprout gets taller. It grows big green leaves. They open up to catch the sunlight. Tim watches it with wide eyes. He wonders what it will become. He knows it's a pumpkin plant, but he has no idea how special this one is going to be. The plant begins to spread out. It crawls along the ground. Then a big yellow flower opens. It is beautiful. A few days later, the flower falls off, and in its place, a small green ball appears. It is a baby pumpkin. Now, I want to pause for a second here. A lot of people try to learn English through storytelling because it helps you visualize these moments. Just imagine looking at that small green pumpkin and knowing you made it happen. That is a great feeling, right? Tim continues his work. He brings extra water on hot days. He makes sure no bugs eat the leaves. He treats the plant like his best friend. And the plant thanks him by growing and growing and growing. The pumpkin starts to change color. It goes from green to a lovely deep orange. But the most amazing thing is the size. It isn't just a normal pumpkin. It is becoming huge. It is bigger than a basketball. Then it gets bigger than a beach ball. Soon it's almost as big as Tim himself. Tim's father comes out to see it and scratches his head. Wow, Tim, that is a monster pumpkin. Tim beams with pride. He worked so hard for this. Then Tim hears about a competition. It is the annual garden fair in the town. Farmers and gardeners from all over the place bring their best vegetables to show them off. There are prizes for the best tomatoes, the longest carrots, and of course, the biggest pumpkins. Tim looks at his giant orange friend. I think we should go, he decides. But there's a problem. How do you move a pumpkin that is so heavy? Tim tries to push it, but it won't budge. He tries to pull it, but it is too heavy. He needs help. He calls his father. Together, they bring a wagon. It takes a lot of effort. They have to lift it carefully so they don't scratch the beautiful orange skin. 1, 2, 3, lift! With a heavy grunt, they manage to get the giant pumpkin onto the wagon. They walk to the town square where the fair is happening. The atmosphere is amazing. There are people everywhere. There's music, the smell of popcorn, and tables full of vegetables. When Tim rolls his wagon in, people stop talking. They turn around and stare. "Look at that," someone whispers. "That is the biggest pumpkin I've ever seen," says another. Tim feels a little shy, but he's also very happy. He pulls his wagon up to the judges' table. The judges are serious men with clipboards. They look at the other pumpkins. Some are nice, some are round, some are shiny, but then they look at Tim's pumpkin. They take out their measuring tape. They measure the width. They measure the height. They whisper to each other. One judge nods his head and smiles at Tim. The time comes for the announcement. Everyone gathers around the stage. Tim is standing there, holding his breath. His heart is beating fast. Boom, boom, boom. The judge speaks into the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen many wonderful things today, but there is one vegetable that stands out above the rest. The first prize for the biggest and most beautiful pumpkin goes to Tim." The crowd cheers. Everyone claps their hands. Tim walks up to the stage. He feels like he is flying. The judge hands him a shiny blue ribbon and the trophy. Tim looks at the crowd. He looks at his dad, who's giving him a thumbs up. Then he looks at his pumpkin. He realizes that this trophy isn't just for the pumpkin. It's for all those mornings he woke up early to water it. It's for the days he spent pulling weeds in the hot sun. It's for his patience. This story reminds us of a very simple truth. Whether you're growing a garden or doing your English listening practice daily, the secret is consistency. You cannot rush nature and you cannot rush learning. You have to show up every day, put in the work, and eventually you will have a result that surprises everyone, even yourself. Tim goes home that day as a winner, but he was already a winner before he got the trophy. He was a winner because he cared about something and saw it through to the end. And you know, as I tell you this story, I hope you feel the same way about your own goals. Maybe you're working on a project, or maybe you're trying to speak English fluently. Just remember Tim and his pumpkin. Start small, be patient, nurture your dreams, and one day you will be holding your own prize. So that's the story of the good boy Tim and his giant success. It's a simple tale, but the best ones are always. I hope you enjoyed this story and found the narration helpful for your practice. It's important to surround yourself with simple, clear English like this to improve faster. If you want to hear more stories like this and improve your skills, please support me. It helps a lot. Make sure to hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel, 10-Minute English Academy. I have many more stories and lessons coming up just for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.